you, Media Post. So yeah, I'm Steve Glassbrenner with GroundTruth. I just want to share a few case studies this morning, basically regarding some clients that worked with us and some successes that they've had. But before I do, I thought we'd go through the technology, a little bit about GroundTruth and what we do. That would help you understand the case studies a little bit more. So I'm here with Michelle Gargano. She's also with GroundTruth. So if you want to stand up, Michelle, I'm going to embarrass you here this morning. So Michelle comes from a wealth of knowledge of CPG brands as well, with working on Keurig Dr. Pepper at Havas and other agencies. So, but again, say hi. We'd like to introduce ourselves to as many people as possible. So before I get into the case studies, I'll get into the technology a little bit, but I took some notes from yesterday a little bit that I thought was interesting, some keywords that come up, and we're just laughing about this right now, return on ad sales. It doesn't go away. We're accountable, right? We have to answer to somebody, the CMO, CEO, board, somebody. We have to answer to where those dollars are going. So I thought that was interesting. Privacy, cookies, which is, again, something of importance in today's day and age, which GroundTruth is very strict on as far as privacy and opt-in for location, which we'll get into. But there's two phrases that stood out that I took a note of the morning session, and that's who is your audience? And more importantly, the second phrase that I heard shortly after is, where is your audience, right? Where is your audience? And that's basically with GroundTruth. What we believe is, again, we've proven out is location determines a lot about your purchase intent, where you go in the real world versus online. So I can look up online fitness, health, and products all day long, but am I going to the gym 3-4 days a week? Am I living that lifestyle? Am I hiking? Am I biking? So we look at those real world behaviors to drive those real business results. So we'll get into a little bit about the strategies and that these case studies used. So how do we do it? We basically, again, look at those real world behaviors of visitation patterns, time of day, time of week, what that location is. And then we create those key audiences that match your brand, and then for precise targeting across all screens. So we serve across all screens over our own DSP. And then we can, again, depending on what that KPI is, we want to look at that screen and determine if it's an awareness or visits. Obviously, mobile drives a lot of visits for us. Awareness, we're looking at more CTV. One of the case studies that we have here uses both CTV and mobile. You'll see how we utilize our audiences over that. So weather targeting, we get a lot of our data from WeatherBug. We own WeatherBug, which, again, 15 million unique users. So again, we get a lot of data through that. But we use the weather triggers as well, again, to drive that real business result, right? Whatever that business result is, in-store, online visits, that return on ad spend, that famous ROAS, right? That we're all trying to get a handle on. And then, again, we work with third-party partners to determine brand lift, visitation lift, sales lift. We'll do test control. We prove out as best we can that campaign for you, right? Because we all, again, have to answer to somebody and answer to ourselves as far as where are those dollars going and are they working. So how do we do it? We basically blueprint the real world. So we look at, again, points of interest, and we call these blueprints. So we use this in a couple different ways. We look at past behavior. Have you been in that store before, that point of interest, right? Target, Costco, Walmart, we have them blueprinted. We're capturing devices at a real high accuracy of where those locations are or where those devices are. So we look at that behavior, and also where else do you go outside those walled gardens, right? We're talking about retail media networks over here yesterday, in incremental sales, and how do we drive new people to those stores, right? So we know where else they go outside of those walled gardens. We know if they, again, go to gyms, soccer fields, dog parks, you name it, we know where they're going. So we can create those behavioral audiences. We also use this for real-time targeting. So once you get into that perimeter, that retail block, parking lot, or in-store, we can serve you an ad. Again, in-app, in real time to reach you at that last minute, right? Right before you go in the store, right before you make that purchase, or maybe you're down the retail block at a Papa Murphy's or a salon, and we're trying to remind you to go back and buy that product, that yogurt, that cereal. So again, we use this in a couple different ways. So I'm going to skip past this because again, these are real-time moments. We use past behavior, purchase-based audience. So again, have you been in that store before? Do you live that lifestyle that matches that brand? and do you purchase that product or have purchased that category before? Or maybe you're a lapsed purchaser, right? We want to get them back. So again, we serve across all screens. We're an omni-channel approach. A couple other key notes here before I get into the couple case studies is that a couple things that clients like about GroundTruth is one thing that we find people find very interesting is our in-stock, out-of-stock targeting. So we can actually monitor your stock levels and your competing companies' stock levels at SKU level at Walmart, Target, and Kroger right now. So we can basically do weekly optimizations. If you're low in some stores and higher in others, we can actually divert impressions and serve to those stores. We can actually also look at your competing brands, right? And look at if they're low, we want to serve more impressions to those areas in those stores. So personalized messaging. Again, depending on what your audience is that we're using, we can send a different message. If you're a fitness enthusiast, we'll send you an ad around fitness and again, more energy for your workout. If you're a parent, we're looking at, again, more energy to get your work done and to deal with teenagers, right? So another component that clients like is shoppable, clickable ads, right? So e-commerce, we can actually map with our accuracy the pickup lane, so we know actually devices that do online pickup and delivery, and we can use those for shoppable campaigns. We can onboard app users, Walmart app, Target app, to drive that e-commerce. We also started work more of this. We had this prior to COVID and even during COVID, but a guaranteed return on ad spend. So we have a performance-based model that you can work with us on. Depending on the brand and the retailer, we can look and work with a third-party partner, sales partner that analyzes what type of lift we're gonna provide or return on ad sale. So let's say it's a 2X return on ad sale, but we don't meet that. You actually basically just pay for the performance that we delivered, right? So again, something that that's unique, I believe, to GroundTruth. Another thing that again, one last thing before I get into the two case studies, then we'll get on with the other presenters, but we work with deterministic visits. So what that means is we've actually seen that device go back in the store. So once we serve them an ad and they go back into the store, we measure that as a visit. We've actually seen that device go in. So there's others in the space that look at projected visits. We also have projected visits, but projected visits is basically looking at a sample size of maybe 2 out of 10 people in this room went to Walmart. But we're gonna look at the universe of impressions we served and project that percentage upon the universe of impressions, right? So they project those visits. We work at deterministic visits, so one-to-one visitation. So again, measurable results, so time of day, time of week. I'm gonna skip past this and get to the case studies. So here's this one right here. We worked with Pepsi, with Yachak. This program was driving visits to various retailers, Albertsons, AM, PM, Circle K, 7-Eleven. We use location targeting, audience targeting, and retargeting. So we looked at people that we served over CTV and then we-served them on mobile, right? So we can retarget either way. We drove 241,000 visits, 583% visit rate lift with an incremental lift rate of 86.5%. So people were going more often, right? We got them to go more often. And we know that if we drive visits, we can drive sales. So, breaking out the CTV portion, we delivered over 2.6 million impressions on this for the CTV, 98% video completion rate, 30,000 visits driven with a 1.13% visitation rate. Again, we can measure visitation off of CTV from that mobile device. We capture that device in the store, they go home, we device graph, find that CTV, that larger screen, we can serve to them over that, and then measure if they visit back. So again, great success story with Pepsi and Yachak. The second case study that I thought this was fitting because of the in-stock, out-of-stock targeting. So we work with a meat brand for bacon, using in-stock, out-of-stock targeting at Walmart. We use the location-based audiences, again, Walmart shoppers, but also added in millennials, natural food shoppers, and other behavioral audiences, the people that are where they're going outside of Walmart, and then purchase-based audiences. Have you purchased that category before? To drive more sales. So 802,000 visits driven, 24% increase in sales, and a 26-cent cost per visit. So again, just some good examples of tactics that we can utilize to help drive your sales. And again, get that incremental growth. Again, I hear it a lot, right? It's never going away. We're going to try to, again, return on ad spend and incremental lift. Again, I heard it on the Retail Media Network roundtable yesterday. But again, we're here to help. Appreciate it. I really thank Media Post. But yeah, say hi. If you have questions, let us know. Love to talk with you. We're going on the brew tour this afternoon, so join us there. All right, thank you, everybody.
All right.
Appreciate it.